Blah 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 blah. Welcome to our first ever live Indescendants
Mobile Edition
podcast.
Yeah. I guess this is a continuation of our podcast in the car.
Yeah, we'll probably put that out. If you guys don't hear that, it was probably because Tim has a really nice sounding exhaust. I don't think it's that loud because I have a modified exhaust on my car too, and it sounds good. But anyways,
yeah, here
glad
we
to
are,
be here, guys.
Here we are in our Palazzo suite at Palazzo here in Las Vegas, and what we're doing here is we did a Indescendants retreat because we played 2 killer shows on Friday, December 17th, and on Sunday, December 19th. It was a lot of work practicing, and we just decided to treat ourselves.
It was a very good trip, I think. I always like coming to Vegas. I feel like it's one of those trips where it's like really get to realign yourself and see where you stand, see where you want to go, see where you've been.
Yeah.
Very much celebratory, but not in the sense where we're getting wasted, we're squandering money at tables. Matter of fact, this was my first sort of adult Las Vegas trip. And it's a real treat for me, guys, so thank you. Real treat, honestly.
Yeah. Vegas, when you go with your friends, is a huge eye-opener because it's a different set of entertainment for you and your friends than it is for, let's say, you and your family. But, I mean, it's nice. Look at all the things we did. We have a nice hotel room here. We have a pretty nice view. Not of the Strip, but of the nice mountain range here in Vegas.
Yeah.
See a
Cue
lot
the
of
B-roll.
See a nice golf course. Also, we ate at Yardbird, right, which is like a restaurant that's kind of more expensive than your typical fried chicken place. Then we ate at Wolfgang Puck's Cut, where it's pretty expensive place to eat at. We gambled, right? And we just hung out. We got massages. So this retreat is actually well deserved, and we're doing all the things that we wanted to do to celebrate those 2 shows.
Yeah, thanks for everybody who came out to our show.
Thanks again.
Yeah, shout out to all our super fans who knew the lyrics of the songs. Well, looking at you. But also like the people who showed up, period. You know, I'm very grateful that people showed up.
We're definitely going to reward those who have supported us. What we plan for 2022 is to do a show here in Vegas, and we're going to make it a goal for our picture to be shown on one of the LED screens out there. And I was thinking,
one.
Yeah, I was thinking
at least one
for an event. Maybe we can rent one of the bigger spaces here in Las Vegas. A place that comes to mind is maybe a villa over at Caesar's Palace, and we invite maybe 100 of our friends to celebrate with us in the Caesar's Palace villa. You know, we wouldn't be the first band or like DJ to play in a Caesar's Palace villa, right? So even if we can orchestrate something like that, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I agree. That would be pretty awesome, actually. It's really nice here, you know, but the only thing I just don't like right now is it's so dusty.
Yeah. And
I feel like my allergies are just really flaring up like mad. Sucks.
I don't remember it being this bad. When we went here 2 years ago, pre-COVID, I don't remember it being super dusty like this.
I don't either. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to rain out there. I think it's already raining where we live. Oh, it's wet. Yeah, no, I'm looking down there. It's wet.
Do you think the rain helps with the dust?
Of course.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's probably why
rain's good. Rain's good for dust.
Right. That's why I feel a little bit better today.
Yeah, it's not as bad today. Plus, we also have like the air conditioning on, and I'm hoping that just kind of helps circulate the air and trap the pollens and so on and so forth. But yeah, man. Like I think it's better. Like that it's raining. Plus, we need the rain. You know.
Yeah.
We're so used to a dry climate where we live. So.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to moving here to Vegas. It's less crowded. I know there are some rough spots, but I like Summerlin, Henderson, these off-strip places. I could see myself living in a place like that. And worst case scenario, I just live out of a Sprinter van here at one of the casinos, and I just DJ, on nights that I'm set to DJ.
Right.
It'd be super cool to like. The van is a thing that I'm really excited for moving forward. It'd be nice to get one.
Yeah, we will. I think it's our mode to where, like, if we identify something that we want to do, we do what we're gonna say. I mean, we do what we said we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And that's the Indescendants MO. It's the Indescendants way.
Yeah. We'll find a way. The past couple of gigs have been our shows have been pretty tiresome. We're our own production company. We're our own sound people, cameramen, gaffers, techs. I mean, we help each other out. But that's kind of our thing. For Breward, that wasn't a venue where we had to play with other bands and kind of be slave, if you will, to like a promoter or the sound person or the management.
Sound tech.
We were our own sound tech.
Yeah. And it'll only get better.
We were only just given like a recommendation as to what to do, right? Just kind of like, look, it's very like thing in here. What did he say? It was just like fairly loud.
Like reverberant or something.
Reverberant, so you don't need like a whole lot to make it really loud.
Yeah, luckily technology makes it super easy these days to kind of just dial it in. You could even do virtual sound checks these days.
Oh, wow.
And it'd be cool to like step outside and then hear the playback playing. And the only thing I'm thinking of is the drums wouldn't be live, but that's some other talk for some other tech time.
That's true. But the point is, we were resourceful in our production. We knew we didn't have the people to help out, right? We wanted to produce a professional show, and I think we did. And there's a huge difference when someone like Jason configures the sound so that people really get the full music experience. And what I mean by music experience is when you enter a room and you can feel the bass drum thudding in your chest, or when you feel like the guitar melting your face off, or when the combination of the sounds just create an overall great experience.
Like it moves you.
Yeah.
I like subwoofers for that very reason.
Yeah, I hate playing drums without mics because I feel like it's so dry. It's too loud. It's only loud in one area of the room.
Right.
Yeah, playing without drum mics is it's so different now. Like that experience has really transcended. There's a lot of things that we did, like the in-ears. Like I don't think I can play without in-ears.
In-ears are great. Yeah.
Like I feel like having in-ears is quintessential now to playing a gig because like, oh my god, to have that audio like bounce back in your face, I don't think it'd be the same experience.
It adds to what the too much sound.
It adds to the sound, right?
Yeah.
Because it's more sound that's gonna like not only hit your ears but then hit everything else.
Yeah, and that's a problem. That's a problem with smaller venues, but with bigger venues, it's cool to have both.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to the real ones that helped us get all the gear back into the van. That was really cool of you guys. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
man.
Mike, Lloyd,
that was so sweet. Thank you guys.
Joko, and all the ones who hung out.
James
Melanie,
Osborne,
Rachel,
Thanks,
Matt,
man.
Gino, James, Jackie, all you guys. Thank you
guys
for hanging out and helping us. Haley.
We didn't even ask for help; they just did it.
Yeah, like I just feel like those are, that's just their nature.
It's because we looked really tired. We're just like,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. We didn't even ask for help, but they still helped us, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So thank you for that. It's tiring, man. Like doing that gig thing is just nuts.
Yeah. Well, hopefully in the future we just hope to build something good enough so that people are willing to invest and help us out. maybe those guys who attended the a show, they're like, oh, you know, they put on a good show for us, put in all this effort. The least we can do is like help them out.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know.
Well, you know, I know they were receptive to doing that, especially for the first ever show. It'd be nice if they could do that every show. Well,
Yeah.
It's a little unrealistic to expect of them, but
It would be cool if they did that and then just naturally they formed an entourage. Everywhere we go.
our posse.
Yeah, posse. And it happens organically. We didn't like try to hire anybody. They just
Yeah.
wanted to be a part of it. I'm like, all right, cool.
I know, right? Yeah, but that's really.
A lot of good things can happen when you just produce it organically. You just let it happen.
Yeah, we're not forcing anybody to help us.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about Indescendants brand and culture, it's never a one-way street. It's a I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of a thing, and we only hope to like build rapport with cool businesses and that are maybe on the come up too.
Yeah.
You know, help each other out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to deal with places who are already established.
Yeah.
I remember when I was shopping around for places to play at, and they were hard to come by because we were trying to find a venue on short notice, and a lot of these places were booked for Christmas parties, and you know, when you go to these established places, the red tape in trying to hold a production there is just a lot. You know, some places wanted to issue out contracts, some places needed a guarantee, but
Attendance,
yeah.
tickets, if
Yeah.
you will. Yeah.
in a Brouillard beer company, they were so accommodating, and there was no contract, there was no guarantee. We just brought people, filled the place, and they were appreciative, which is why we'll always go back there because they were like super accommodating.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, well, I wonder what happened with RJ.
Oh, you just probably said fuck
man.
you.
He was probably really like upset that we didn't end up committing to like a venue. But
Well, the
like,
numbers speak for themselves. He was just like, those venues are just too expensive.
Yeah, he wanted to charge us what, like $1,500 just for the venue
Yeah.
for one night, and that doesn't include anything. No food, no drinks, barren. You would have to decorate it. Like so many things we had to do just to get that
You know
off
what?
the ground. It
That would have
probably
been-
would have cost us like $5-6 grand.
That would have been extremely cumbersome for us to like really to deck out the place. And what if they, you know, weren't able to accommodate us to set up only until like an hour before? That'd be
there's
crazy.
that too. Like the setup.
That'd be nuts.
I'm so grateful we had like pretty much 2 hours to set up, which
Yeah.
bought us like roadie time, and you know, bought us time to roadie our equipment and to sound check and to
eat,
to,
you
to
know.
eat a little, and to just kind of some of our guests showed up a little early, like
Yeah.
Paul, and we were just able to chat. It was a good time.
Yeah. So when people come to see you perform, as I've learned in the DJ world and in the band world, you want to reserve some time to build a relationship and at least talk to your guests because they went out of their way to come see you.
Yeah.
One of the most powerful things you can do for them is to spend your time with them. If you are the main performer, the main entertainer, I think, you know, the fact that you would spend your time entertaining them, and because you're entertaining thousands sometimes at a venue, but if you were to just like personally entertain your guests, they'd be super appreciative because like out of like the thousands who came to see you, you decided to spend it with them. And so that's what I really focused on before we played the show, is whoever came to see us, I wanted to talk and mingle with them just to like express my appreciation for coming to our show.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Caitlin and Rachel. I hope to collaborate with you guys, but thanks for sticking around and being a little late to the party that you're supposed to go to. Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, one of the most powerful things you can give to people is just time and attention and a listening ear to see how they're doing. And I think that's what we did before our gig.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
We found out who our real ones were, you know. I think the thing about this last show was, at least in my eyes, and the way I felt about this was, I felt like we found out who our real ones were. The ones who showed up, the ones who helped us, the ones who had no expectation other than to just see you play. Like, So I feel like those are the, with the exception of a few, you know who you are. But, to me, it really showed me who matters more to me. Who would go to see us no matter what. And if we do end up playing here in Vegas, it'd be so nice to like treat those people really well.
Yeah. Those are the people we're gonna bring to the villa with us.
Yeah.
Food, drinks, an awesome DJ, party. But one of the things that I learned in DJ school, shout out to Beat Junkies Institute of Sound, awesome DJ school, is they teach you a little bit about the promotions game. And if you want, one of the best lessons I learned from them, from some of the best DJs ever, is if you want people to attend your event, you need to attend other people's events as well. And also, when people and this is just a life lesson that I've learned, when people go through trouble to produce something as big of a show, and they invite you, like, that's an honor. You should be honored that you're invited to a production that was very extensive to produce. And I understand like people are busy, but some people just kind of blew us off, who we thought were cool with us. Some people blew us off, and it almost was to say, it's like, I don't see enough value to this, so I'm just not gonna go. Like, no RSVP, no nothing. And it's not like these are like lukewarm acquaintances, right? These are like people who we thought were, who were close to us.
Yeah.
I got some responses saying, no, I'm just gonna stay in tonight. It's like, well, I'm only in town for like 2.5 weeks. You don't want to come see me? You're like, your cousin? Like, like, I'm not, like, you can rest when I'm not here. Like, come see me. Like, we're family.
Oh, wow. See, like, I had a friend I had friends that I invited, and not all of them showed up, one of which was sick, but at least they made the effort to call me and have a conversation as to why, and actually prove that they couldn't go. Like, she FaceTimed me and was like, I'm sick, can't hear it, and I could hear it in the tone of her voice. Like, that's one of those that's very hard to fabricate. Plus, like, I don't think she's a liar. She doesn't come across to me as somebody who would lie about something like that, because I know she would have gone, and I get it. But there were some people who I thought that I was close with, just, didn't even get back to me. Like, oh yeah, I'll go, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Or, if I invited them, they just ghosted my response. Or just ghosted it with no response.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, okay.
Or they like your message, and then that's it.
Yeah. But then there's also like for me, like, I tell them this, and then days later they'll ask, like, oh, how was it? I'm like, I don't really have a response. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
I don't know. You should have been there.
Yeah, maybe that's what I would say. Is like, yeah, you just should have been there. I can't describe it.
Yeah. But like some of the people I invited, some of my family, like I had done a lot for them, and like I contributed to, their financial situation. I helped them out, and then I invited you to a party, and I'm not taking it personal because like people can do whatever they want to do, but like, dude, I went out of my way to contribute to your financial situation, and like you didn't even show up, bro. Like, you couldn't even give me the time of day. And it's not like I was trying to pack the place with people, just to show on camera that we had a packed event. That wasn't even my intention, because if I wanted to do that, I would have hired 3 other promoters to pack the place with other people. But I wanted to invite the guests who were really important to me, like my friends and family, right? And like with the stuff that I did for you, like, dude, just come see me so we can hang out. And like, you didn't even want to hang out.
I know.
The best response is, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's...
The I'll let you know is the...
The I'll let you know, like, I got those. I got those from people when we invited people, like when we started doing our mass, like, hey, I'm going to invite you to my event, blah, blah, blah. I got the, oh, I'm not sure yet, or I don't know, but I did know who would go, and they're the ones who'd be like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
You know, they're not the ones to say, oh, okay.
Yeah. You can't, I understand you can't get everybody, right?
Yeah.
But at least just be honest. Just give like a definite, yes or no. Because like, when you say maybe like that, it's almost like saying, well, let me see if there's something better. And if there's something better, then, I'll say no.
That'll supersede that other thing you're trying to do.
But if there's nothing better to do, then I'll go. It's kind of like you're like a second option.
There's a level of common courtesy that I hopelessly still expect in today's society, and I try to be nice to people, but like, we got to bring that back. Just a little follow through would be nice. The courteous follow through, follow up.
It goes back to what I've always said, in that people have time for what they have time for. If people really want to make an effort to see you, they will. If people really want to make an effort to do things with you, they will. They won't let other things get in the way. But, there's some things where I'm not completely inhumane. I understand people have priorities, they just, whatever.
Kids.
You're too tired, because you have children, or you're taking care of your parents or something. Like, I get it, but, I pretty much don't take people not showing up personally, because it's like, dude, time for
we're not taking any of it personally.
Like, it's foolish to take these things personally, because it's like, dude, like, they don't mean harm by not going necessarily.
Yeah.
So just because of that, it's like, it's okay. But it just it also does tell you that, say, on the flip side of that coin, just kind of tells you, like, okay, well, I kind of know where I stand on this totem pole with you. I get it.
Yeah, I was detached in that sense too. Like, whoever didn't come, it was fine. But whoever was there, I would make sure that I would talk to them. Yeah, like, we bought them pizza, drinks. We made sure that they had a good time. And then after the show, people were super appreciative that we provided the pizza, some drinks, and if they wanted more drinks, they could have bought it at the bar. But then we provided them a show as well. And not only that, we played songs that they knew and they could sing along to, which, in their mind, they were thinking, oh, okay, they played songs that we knew so that we can sing along to it. They just didn't force their songs down our throat.
Yeah.
Slash Pizza, that's the name of the place.
Thanks, Slash Pizza. That's pretty good.
Slash Pizza, you guys had some pretty kick-ass pizza. Like, I think the guests really liked it. I didn't even get to try it. Actually.
What? Oh,
I didn't eat because I just didn't feel like eating before the show. I didn't want to get bloated.
Fair enough.
I probably had a bite of a pizza, but, it was the cheese one, and it was cold already by that point. So.
But I had it cold, and it was just as good as
there you
warm
go.
pizza.
I would have also liked to have it warm. It smelled amazing off the oven, though, because when we picked it up, I'm like, this is fresh. This is good. So, Slash Pizza, you guys rock. Thanks for being there.
Yeah.
Thanks for accommodating our order. Thanks for feeding our guests.
Yeah. Talk about clutch.
Yeah, talk about clutch.
Because the pizza vendor that we were supposed to have that night didn't show up, probably because he or she thought that it's so close to the holidays, who's going to show up at this venue? But, we actually brought a lot of people to the venue that day.
I'd say we brought a fair amount of people, It was like comfortably not too full.
Yeah.
People got to sit, people got to eat and watch and hang out and have beer.
Yeah.
For the walk-in patrons, thanks for sticking around and listening to us.
Oh yeah,
that was
you
cool
guys
too.
man.
Yeah.
You
That's
guys
cool.
too.
Yeah.
There were some of you there.
That was dope.
Julian, the guy who worked there that night, he was a cool guy.
Yeah.
It was a good time, and we're gonna have more, so that's gonna come,
So a lot about life is building relationships with people, and an event like our show is a community builder. It's a relationship builder, because look at all the people we brought together. We brought our friends and family who can buy from Brewyard Beer Company. buy their drinks, and if that pizza vendor showed up, they would have, bought from that pizza company. But I guess in this case, we integrated Slash Pizza, and they benefited from our event, right? Of course, we're going to benefit from the event because we recorded and we're going to post the video on YouTube. But an event like this is, I think, is one of the best things life has to offer. You create an event that makes people come together, celebrate with food and drinks, and you provide people an awesome experience. Like, if we didn't do this event, like, what other type of activity would, like, provide that, community building?
This circles back to us talking about outlets in the previous podcast, and we, we talked about that. It's art, What better way to celebrate life and community building with art? So in this case, it's music. We were able to bring business and community together. So
I think that's what you call synergy. When you have like
synergy.
3 different parts, like let's say Burrito Beer Company, Indescendants, and the pizza company, and the people all by themselves is only but if you combine all those, it's greater than the sum of each one of them.
Right.
And
if you apply it selflessly, not like, oh, we're gonna bank a lot of tickets and we're gonna pocket all of it. Like,
dude, in fact, we
didn't have to.
We took a loss from this show.
We'll take an L on that.
Just because we wanted to give people a good time.
Right. It's not even. Yeah.
I was thinking about it. Like, I think Burrito has such a good, I'm not business plan, but like, I think they have it good in the sense that like they don't have to deal with the red tape around food and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just alcohol. That's it.
Politics.
That's all they serve.
Yeah.
And they don't have to worry about like certain things that people who serve food would have to worry about, maybe like health inspection and all that.
Right.
Maybe they do go through health inspection, I'm sure.
Not
but
as stringent though.
It probably doesn't have to be at the level of like food and all that because they don't serve any food.
It's a good
Don't
situation.
bring in a food truck. A food truck doesn't. I don't think food trucks necessarily comply with those rules because
Sometimes.
you see them everywhere in LA.
Yeah.
Right.
You see them on so many places, and where they're just kind of like on the side of the road, and they go to their own rules, And then they don't have to mess with the entertainment, because that's not what we do. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with the politics of these like established places. Imagine where we throw an event, or if we throw an event at Burrito Beer Company, at the same magnitude that you would if you were holding the event at the Whiskey or the Roxy, right? Like, you didn't have to deal with any of the bullshit, right? But you threw an event that was like at the same magnitude. Let's say we packed that place, right? Or maybe it was summer and the stage was outside to accommodate.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Oh man, that might come up soon.
I love outdoor playing, but yes, that
It'd probably be better EQ wise. It wouldn't have to ring. We only played inside because it was pretty cold outside.
Yeah.
I would love to play outside. I was kind of thinking about how it would look over at Brewyard.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be dope. Because, it seems like they have enough area for an outdoor part.
Yeah.
Especially at night, because not a lot's going on there.
Yeah. I suppose the other businesses are not active, so it's like really open in that corner.
Yeah. So
Logistically, I like how they're like in that corner.
You're
That's
so
cool.
away from the residential neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah, it's a healthy, I think that satisfy a lot of parties. You don't have to pack a venue, especially with these times. You don't have to worry about being indoors,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Oh, and our event was, I don't want to say the word, but I would say it's health friendly. So, but yes, it was health compliant.
Yeah, health compliant. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a good way to also just kind of because everybody had to receive a certain, especially if you want to dine in certain places where we live, you'd have to comply with certain rules and, but even then, even if you didn't do that, I think it was okay. So I think we were okay.
Yeah, we were okay.
And, people who were sick didn't show up. I think what this generation of people nowadays people are more cognizant of what they need to do now. I think like the American workforce before was just like, even if you're sick, you show up to work.
Yeah. That's what was valued. Like, even though you weren't feeling well, you still got the job done. You show up to work, get the job done. But these times, it's like, no, bro.
It's different now, where it's like, if you're sick, you really shouldn't show up. That's true. Especially at the rate that people are getting sick because of others, So there's always that concern, and it's valid. So if you're sick, try to stay home. But for the most part, people know now that when they're sick, they shouldn't go. Because I don't think people want to be responsible for any like spreading events.
No, not at all. And that's the reason why I didn't want to pack the place, because I had some guests who were concerned about getting sick. It's like, don't worry, like it's a wide open area.
Yeah, I had one guest also who was concerned that she didn't want to go because there's variances in what we're dealing with, right? And I get it. That's something I definitely don't take personally, because everybody has a different level of comfort when it comes to those kinds of things. So if they don't want to go, it's okay. Don't take it personally. There is always a risk whenever you go out to get sick, especially more so in the winter time. But that just goes back to taking care of yourself, man. You just gotta take care of yourself, or at least you just gotta know. Like I feel like some people feel like maybe they're more predisposed because they're just not taking care of themselves.
Yeah,
being sick. They're eating horribly, sleeping horribly, maybe even being with the wrong people.
Happens too.
That lead them to even more destructive habits.
Right, might lead them to a different a mindset that is not healthy. That happens too.
This is just a fact of life now. We're just gonna have to learn how to live with it.
Yeah, that's very true. Like there's, I think the whole reason for having these mandated stuff, is they want things to go back to normal right away. But the fact of the matter is, even if you get this stuff, you're not even guaranteed. It's not like the other previous history stuff where you could do that and there was a guarantee that you won't get it. Mm-hmm. It's a different kind of, stuff. But nowadays, I think people want to force this stuff on you, and, I believe in the stuff. I've gotten the stuff. But I don't agree with the whole forcing people to get it,
Yeah, I know.
and making it so that you can't do things if you don't get the stuff. Like I know.
Like, what if you have an adverse reaction to the stuff?
I know that's exactly it. And people ask me if they should get the stuff. I'm like, you should just talk to your doctor. That's really it. The doctor, your doctor, should know your situation if you're seeing a doctor. If you have a healthcare professional who's looking after your health, just see them. Ask them the question. Like, don't ask me, don't ask the TV. Definitely don't listen to the TV. Please, God, if you care about your health, if you care about your life, really don't take anything that the TV tells you as gospel.
Or comments on your favorite social network either. Like, just get it from the sources. Get it from the source.
Get it from your doctor, your healthcare professional, whoever they may be. They will be the ones to tell you whether or not it's a good idea.
Yeah. And then like I heard that there was some there's some news out there that says, do your own research is some of the most dangerous words you can say to somebody. But what if some of your research is like consulting with your medical professional, who gives you sound recommendations?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, everybody's in charge of themselves. And, no matter how much knowledge is out there, you kind of have to piece it together to formulate what's good for you, right? Take, for instance, drum set, right? There's all this, techniques of tuning drums, what drums you should get, what sticks you should use for a certain sound. But really, I use what's good for me and whatever sound I want to.
What you like.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with life, like with health and everything. ultimately, and Dr. Mark Hyman, who wrote the Ultramind Solution and has like a series of health videos online, right? He's a medical doctor, right? So I trust him. But he said the best doctor is you, because you know what you're feeling. So you have to like figure out what's good for you.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
But also, like, take care of yourself. You know, like, you are your best friend when it comes to your health, because you're the one who's gonna, like, your doctor's not gonna hold your hand 24/7.
No.
They're not gonna be there with you all the time.
Yeah.
You're gonna wanna be there to make the right decisions about when you eat, what you eat, when you sleep, how you sleep, so on and so forth.
Doctor's not in your body.
Yeah,
They
the
can't
doctor's
feel
not
what
in
you're
your body.
feeling. Yeah.
So just take care of yourself, man. Like, you know.
I guess good rules of thumb to go by is like, are you awake? Do you feel good? Do you feel like loose, light on your feet? Are you energetic? Are you sleeping well?
Those are good indicators. Yeah.
Do you feel any bloating after you eat? Right? Do you feel better after you eat, or do you feel worse after you eat?
Right.
Little common sense things like that.
Are you putting on weight? Are your extremities getting swelling up?
Yeah.
I mean, to name a couple things.
But I've heard, and this is what Joe Rogan says all the time, like so many people are way down in the depths, they don't even know when they feel like shit. It's like feeling like shit is the baseline.
It's a level of numbness.
Yeah.
Now, why would you
feeling like shit is the baseline?
Yeah. That's a level of numbness
yeah.
you wouldn't want to plateau into.
Mm-hmm. That could be said of other things in a similar way, where it's just like, it may not even be just with food. Like, so there's probably some people who get average 3 to 4 hours of sleep. And that's it. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's good. I don't think you're getting enough rest.
Mm-hmm.
But that's their norm. They have
Yeah.
like 20-hour work days or something, and they're just constantly, or there's 20 hours of whatever bullshit.
Yeah. That's where this sort of hustle mentality, and Keith, maybe, or you guys can chime in on this, that's where it's toxic. Maybe you still got to take care of yourself. Like, if you're tired after you're slaving away at your computer, whatever your, for instance, maybe a creative endeavor, if you're tired, go get some shine. Go take a nap or something.
Very necessary to fight for time off, because a lot of people like to brag about working these like 12, 13, even 16-hour days, even 17-hour days, as I used to work at my job. But and I did it because I wanted to, not because I had to. But if you ever find yourself in a situation where you feel like you have to, then you have to like voice your opinion out, or voice your say and say, "Hey, boss, I'm fucking tired. I need a rest."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you keep working me like this, I'm gonna burn out, and you're not gonna have me.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
burnout is so
Burnout's
real.
not good.
You know, people have gone through a lot of burnout, especially in this past pandemic. Like, dude, it sucks. People really got burned out.
Medical professionals.
Medical professionals are some of the most burnt out, especially because medical professionals were on the front lines and dealing with things, you know, like, they're burnt out. It sucks.
Yeah, grocery store workers, because
Yeah.
they were like,
Grocery
at
store
one
workers.
point, they were the only ones open.
Yeah, that's true. Like, apart from, like, you know, they were an essential business.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And we've
The
seen.
police are also burnt
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You know?
Riots,
It's funny,
etc.
I had a friend who visited from San Jose, and her husband is a police officer. He was a police officer in Los Angeles, LAPD. Showed me some really dope spots in LA, by the way, that's like really shady shit, but really funny. Main point, I asked him what's the main difference between like the city he does policing for now, which is like some small town near San Jose, and Los Angeles, like a big city. And he's like, dude, big cities, they hate their cops. I can see that, you know, with a big city, it's like, especially the police force, it's like, a lot of things happen, like riots and looting, you know, like, the police can only do so much, you know, but in a small town, those people love their police.
Yeah.
So he works in a small town now, and
they really see them as allies.
They see the police there are just really like loved, you know, and it's like, I would like my police too in a small place. Like, I respect the police more in a in a small area than I do in a big city.
Mhm.
I think the thing is, like, police in a big city are just going through so much. Like, they probably deal with a lot of belligerents, homeless, like people who are just like, which in a bigger city you're gonna run into a lot more, and that burns them out. But think about what happened last year with this whole thing that's been going on. Like, these people dealt with so much, including the police, and it kind of burnt them out. And then as a result, like, there's going to be less of them. People don't like them.
And it's probably, you probably don't want to go to work. It's kind of hard to do your job when you know that you're not getting any top cover. You're not appreciated. In fact, you're kind of condemned for the work that you do.
Oh, man.
Like, one form of that is like, a salary. Some people get paid like a different salary to do the same job, and some people work harder, get paid less. And sometimes it's out of, like, in organizations or your leadership's hands to deal with these things, and I get that, but so it comes also down to, what are you going to do about your situation? Like, make your own decision, I guess.
Right. There's no need to settle, perhaps, or succumb to, like, a poor work situation.
If you can get better for yourself, wouldn't you? I would,
So, I guess that's the reason why a lot of police officers have left the police force, because they're probably like, fuck this. Like, I'm not getting any top cover. I'm not appreciated. I'm going to go do something else. Too. And, like, maybe the manpower in LA, like the police manpower, there aren't enough cops to enforce stuff like theft crimes.
Oh yeah,
and
with
so,
all
like,
these smash and grabs.
So I guess you could steal like $900 worth of stuff and not get arrested for it. The fuck kind of shit is that? Like, in Singapore, like, you steal, I don't know what happens, but, like, I think if you're an expat, they kick you out of the country. But I know it's like automatic jail time. Like, if you steal, the penalty is so severe that it makes you either not want to steal or not want to steal again. Not ever want to steal or not want to steal again.
See, I think we need to make...
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do we tolerate that here in the USA?
See, to ride that tangent, I was going to say that, I don't think our penalties here are steep enough for certain things.
Yeah.
Like DUI, and I know this is a touchy subject because I know two people who've been arrested for DUI, and they're really nice and good people, right? So I remember bringing up this subject because the topic of DUI came up and I brought it up with them. I was like, look, I think with DUI you should get, like, I jokingly said this, and I don't truly believe it, but the point I was trying to make is, it's like the first DUI you barely get like a slap on the wrist. You can have, like, overnight jail time and then pay a fine and you're out. Obviously it goes on your driving record. That's not good. But who's to say you're not going to do that again?
Yeah. You got away with it.
You got away with it. Essentially, you got away with it. It depends also on what happens. Like,
right.
You might not get away with it if you kill someone or hit somebody or, cause damage to property, that kind of stuff. So maybe you won't get off that free. But the fact that, there's always a possibility, I might not hit anybody, I might get home fine, I might be safe. I don't think the penalties are steep enough for the death penalty, so I jokingly said, or for DUI, so I jokingly said, it should be the death penalty if you get convicted. Yeah. Obviously, I don't necessarily mean that, because that would, under those rules, these two really good, nice people would have died for nothing. Or maybe not for nothing, but I just don't feel like it's steep enough.
Well, the thing is, would these two nice people have driven under the influence had they known that DUI,
exactly,
the penalty is death?
Is death.
Because
of course not.
That's essentially what might happen as a result of a DUI. Because essentially, if you drive under the influence, then that means you're okay with the risk of you possibly killing someone on the road. and it could be a family member, any of our family members. Right. It could be any of us. And if you take one of us out of the equation, there's no more Indescendants. So you pretty much robbed us of our dreams. You robbed us of our future with our loved ones.
And what a selfish, mindset to like, okay, you're inebriated, get in the car, drive. Yeah.
And this is, I know somebody that I worked with who was working Mother's Day, and she was driving into work. She got into a head-on collision. Oh my gosh. She is like a new mom. She could have been like, the kid would have had no mom on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
She lived, fortunately. But like, if I'm the husband, if I'm somebody who cares about her so much, I would be like, dude, maximum whatever you can give this guy. But I bet you right now, this guy's out there doing whatever, God knows what.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's steep enough. Like, it's not steep enough to cover everybody to say they will learn their lesson. I think the 2 people that I spoke to that had DUIs learned their lesson. Like, they wouldn't do it again.
But unfortunately, that's the exception and not
there are exceptions, yeah, and I think there's more people out there who are just going to do it again.
Oh yeah, and how the fuck does a honest truck driver who, his brakes like give out due to a maintenance issue get like how many years in prison? And DUIs, they get a slap on the wrist for the first one.
That one's such a touchy subject too.
Yeah.
Because that truck driver, from the way I understand it, and I didn't do extensive research on this, so I'm paraphrasing. But from what I understand, the truck's maintenance is the responsibility of the company, not his. I don't know if the black box, if there a black box in the truck.
There might be.
Because it's a commercial vehicle, so there has to be some sort of recording device, like that tracks whether or not you put your brakes on or whatever. Like, is it his response? Is it within truck driver protocol to do safety checks the same way that a captain of a plane would, or I don't think even captains are supposed to do that. They're not out there on the jet trying to see, like, is this riveted right or whatever. That's not their job. Their job is to just fly the plane.
Yeah.
There's people in the airline company who make sure the plane is safe to fly before every flight. Pre-flight checks, that's what a pre-flight check literally means. Yeah. So I can't imagine it's drastically different for a commercial truck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not carrying people, but it's a giant moving object. And this guy was going through Colorado, went through, Colorado's very rocky, as we know. I think his brakes just gave out. Especially your brakes start to fade the more and more you use them. Especially downhill, you're riding your brakes almost all the time, depending on your gearing too.
Yeah, engine
but this guy's, apparently there were lapses in maintenance, and that didn't come into play when this guy got sentenced to 110 years.
Yeah,
and it's unfair. Like the guy's a kid. He's like 26-year-old from Cuba. A legal immigrant just trying to make money, American dream, gone.
I think the snippet that I saw, he was crying when they read out the sentence, right?
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least from what I understand, it was definitely not his fault.
Yeah. And that's what as I piece the facts together, that's my sentiment about it. It's like, come on, like, it's not his fault. I hope that there's some lawyer that can help him out, that can take on the case pro bono. And just be like, hey, like, this was out of his control.
Right.
I think people really need to examine these facts before they place feelings on stuff. Mm-hmm. I think some people just love to listen to these media outlets, and they hear something they want to hear, and they don't do the research. Like with Rittenhouse. I remember having a heated argument with a coworker with the Rittenhouse case, and she just painted him out to be a complete white supremacist when that was really not the case. Yeah. The guy was showing up to defend businesses and to provide medical attention to rioters and looters. Those people who were actually vandalizing properties, he still provided medical attention to them, and just to make sure people weren't going to like a car dealership, I think is where they told him to go, so that people wouldn't mess with him.
Yeah. I'll bet you if those rioters had their own business, they wouldn't want to loot, because they understand how valuable like it is for someone to have a business and how much work goes into like setting up a business. But the fact that probably a lot of those rioters were not business owners, they don't have that sort of empathy. All they want to do is just like get their anger out and mess some shit up.
Yeah, they want to bring everybody down to their level.
Yeah.
And
I will also say, if you had your own good shit going for you, you probably wouldn't even care about like Rittenhouse. You'd probably just be like, oh, that sucks, and you just not get emotional about it, and you just probably just focus on the stuff you got going on for you. Like, why get all emotional? He was just doing what he thought he was right. Like, focus on your own shit, and stop trying to like create controversy.
Right. Well, some of these folks sway towards one side of the scale or the other, and perhaps these same people that don't have a lot going on for themselves also have a very narrow perspective of the situation.
What I don't understand is like people aren't empathizing with him in the sense that, look,
right,
this guy was attacked already. He didn't point the gun first. He was attacked, and then he shot.
Yeah.
That's what happened. If you were attacked, would you not have shot? Like, that's what I ask these people. Yeah. I'm like, look, if you or a loved one was in the process of getting attacked, there's that risk that you could lose your life or have a life-changing, event happen. Like, the whole point of having a gun is to prevent these things from happening. Period.
Defense.
Look, defense, because what I don't understand is people paint this guy to be a murderer and a killer and blah, 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 when really that's just like a whole narrative to like get guns out of control so that, but, that's beside the point. The point here I'm trying to make is like, do people not see that, can't you empathize with somebody like that?
No, bro, because the reason why is because everybody, from what I see, I shouldn't say everybody, I'd say maybe 80% of society is looking for some sort of sense of belonging. And what better sense of belonging than to be part of an angry lynch mob?
To band together and
even if like you don't even
good.
believe in the cause, maybe you're just like bored with your life and you don't feel appreciated in other areas of your life, and maybe being a part of this lynch mob or this this angry mob like gives you that sense of belonging. Whereas I'm not particularly like caring of this like this initiative that we have, right? But I'm going to participate in this mob because it's the only thing that gives me a sense of belonging.
Well, it's also a false sense of power too. That certainly feeds ego.
Yeah.
I don't see how they painted that guy as a white supremacist and he killed two white people.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make any sense? Like, you can't paint a white supremacist as if he killed black people, maybe, but he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even his intention. He had zero intention of being a white supremacist. So it's like, I don't understand what the media companies do.
Yeah.
Like, they're full of it.
I think Joe Rogan, I think he even asked, like, I don't know if he specifically said it like this, but it was, I get the sense that, the question is asked, why the fuck are you putting this bullshit out there? Like, what, to confuse people, to sway people, to stir up controversy? It's bullshit. It's nothing.
It's the same with this new, like, variants of, stuff. They tried to do that with the new one, right? And I don't think it really worked.
Yeah. I did notice in our previous podcasts, since we were new, we were trying to be filtered and tactful in what we're saying, right? But now things have just gotten out of control to where it's like, I don't know if I have the restraint to stop, to stop cussing or to like, to not be so emotional about these issues,
Understandably.
And like listening back to it, And I don't think people listen to podcasts so they can listen to filtered shit. They want to hear things
That's the whole point
Yeah.
of a podcast, is that it's unfiltered.
Yeah.
Because when you talk on a news network or on a radio station, you usually have to comply with their rules.
Mhm.
You know, your own podcast is your own set of rules. You know.
So this podcast will probably be taken, if they're the algorithms right, it'll probably be taken off some of the premier video streaming platforms, but at least we'll have Spotify and Apple Music and Apple Podcasts.
That's because Spotify is
Yeah.
just a straight up like European. They're dope. You
Yeah.
know, like these other like premium streaming services, they have an agenda.
Jocko Willink, the Navy SEAL, who rarely like talks about anything like super controversial.
Polarizing or whatever.
Yeah, polarizing.
Yeah.
He's very tactful in what he says. He doesn't offend a lot of people. He had some stuff taken down, and
Oh, that sucks.
like really what he posts is just workout videos. You know, his pictures of his watch. That he wakes up 4:30 in the morning. That he works out. Right. He provides leadership advice.
Yeah.
Like, what's so controversial about that?
Interesting.
And then he gets shadow banned from Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram's another one, man. I think people love to live on that platform.
What a platform.
Yeah.
What a platform.
I wonder what we're going to get shadow
TikTok
banned for.
You know.
It's all about perspective.
Whatever. It's like, it's not real life. You know, they're not here preventing me from going to places I want to go and doing things I want to do.
Right.
You know. I just think that if you're having things in your life that you're doing that you're proud of, you don't need to spend so much time on these media algorithms or whatever, because you know, you're focused on real world stuff. You know, you're not trying to put yourself out there on social media. I'm not trying to shame anybody who does that, because you know, I can see the fun and the appeal. You know, like I'm not somebody who's completely off social media, but I see people who spend an enormous amount of time on it, and it's like, for what? You know, because of that, what do you really have going for you? Like, I don't understand why people like to show their hand too, like, so much. You know, if there's something that Vegas has really taught me here, not just with this trip, but every trip, it's just like, you know, why do you have to show your hand? You know, like, showing your hand completely, it just kind of exposes you, you know, whether or not you have enough. So.
Yeah. Oh, no, thank you. We're okay. Yes. 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Thank you. We should keep that.
No, we won't.
That was
Yeah,
funny.
That was funny.
Guys, we're in a hotel. I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
we're
in
in
a
a
desert.
hotel.
Yeah.
Right now, we are, we're about 30 minutes from checking out, and we're really just like riding it all the way to the very end. But it's cool. As you can see, the B-roll back there. You know, cut the B-roll here. It's raining down there.
Whoa.
Palazzo has been super accommodating, and
I always like it here.
yeah,
It's nice here.
yeah, it's great. And you know, I've spent quite a bit of money here to get an elite type membership status to where they're accommodating. But I think the biggest lesson that I draw from that is, hey, Vegas rewards winners. So I guess my winnings is we get to check out late at 2 p.m. We get like special treatment. They'll even give us a ride to the airport if we flew here. Right.
That's
nice.
Yeah. And then the suite is like semi-comped, you know, comped, maybe totally comped. We'll see. Right.
Very cool.
But going back to what you were saying, man, if you had some pretty cool stuff going on in your life, I bet you would be less caring of these controversial topics.
Yeah, and we're like, you're not. I just don't think that you should be putting too much emotion into these things.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're not involved.
Yeah.
Actually involved. Like, why are you paying attention to so much of it? It's like,
It's a trap. as General Akbar says.
Drop.
No, Admiral Akbar.
Yeah. What a fucking great character. What a great series. They're building a Death Star out there, speaking of which.
Yeah. I caught a snippet of it so the viewers will see.
The spherical
Whatever it is.
stadium? I don't know.
It's the Death Star. It's nothing else. It's the Death Star.
It's the Death Star.
And maybe we'll get to play there.
Yeah. I
In
know.
the Death
Cool.
Star.
That'd be funny. Oh man, but it's a good trip. I think we had a great time here in
Yeah.
Vegas. We learned a lot. You know.
From a specific family member.
Yeah, man, we got some good wisdom.
Yeah.
We learned a lot about ourselves and each other, what we've done, what we plan to do, so on and so forth.
Yeah. This was a nice step
Training.
back, guys. Kind of a, at least for me. You guys might be able to resonate with this too, but for me, it's a nice perspective change. I see all the good that we're doing. I guess what I mean to say is, don't forget to take a break. Reward yourself
Yeah.
for good deeds. And you know what Tim always says, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, Jason, you were supposed to work yesterday. And then I told you, no, bro.
Shut
like,
up,
You
man.
can. It's very reasonable.
I might as well shout out to Leilani,
Yeah.
who's my associate. You're
Yeah.
cool.
It's very reasonable
Awesome,
to
thank
fight
you.
for time off, especially for like these peak experiences here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't happen all the time. Like we can go back to everyday life after the experience, right? But like, since there's an opportunity to experience a peak experience, might as well capitalize on it because these things are irreplaceable.
An experience of value.
I know. I'm glad. No, it's a good time. I think we did well. You know, and I just have some goals for next year, personally. You know,
Yeah.
some things I just want to do and accomplish, so that the next time we're here, it'd just be like good. You know.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but after this whole experience, I can't wait to get back to work. I'm going to be editing some videos, strategizing for our
Yeah, man.
Burrito Hero Burrito
Yeah.
by Indescendants. Place your pre-orders now. Indescendants.com.
Yeah, our burrito's good, man. You're
Yeah,
gonna
it's-
like our burrito.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah. And it's coming from a good place too, because the burrito is meant to start everybody on the right foot of their day. We want them to have a good, wholesome breakfast, so that when they start working, they don't have to worry about hunger.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be getting their essential amino acids, with the
Wholesome,
proteins,
wholesome sustenance.
macros and micronutrients.
My stomach, I'm hungry again right now. The time is, it's almost 1:30, and
Yeah.
I am hungry.
Yeah, I got
Just
4
thought you
hours
guys
left.
don't know.
I got 4 hours left on my fast, but I know we're passing by the legendary Whole Foods here in Las Vegas before we head back to LA. Whole Foods, please sponsor us.
Yeah, that'd be dope. It's the GoPro there. Got some B-roll.
Nice.
But yeah, man, like, what a good trip, and I hope we can do this again next year. You know,
Yeah, well.
well, I meant more like the podcast. Like, I like this kind of like live podcast setting.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Especially since we've been doing podcasts like almost telemetrically. I don't know if that's the word, but like, you know, two of us, me and
Telepathically.
Jason are here, and Keith's in another country.
Yeah.
You know, in a whole different part of the world. So
Guys, if I were to impart anything, keep your good friends close. Nurture that rapport, that relationship, and take care of each other. Obviously, take care of yourself too. But like,
I think that
It's so
comes
good, man.
also with experience.
it's
you
so
know,
good,
like,
man.
And just becoming older and realizing like the there's that saying, man has two lives. One when he's born, and then two when he realizes that that he will die.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
right? Or something like that. Something along the lines of, I know that my life is more frail, and therefore you tend to value things in a different light, or look at things in a different light. So it's different. Like pre-30, you live for the day. You know, you live for whatever. And you just
Perhaps
you
an
want to be with
excess
your
too.
friends,
Yeah.
and you want to, like, you
Yeah.
be with whoever, have as many people on your MySpace, your, those kinds of places, Facebook, whatever. Nowadays, it's like, at least to me, and I know that we kind of look at it this way, where it's like, you don't need a lot, you just need enough of the right ones.
Yeah.
The real ones.
We talked about that lightly over dinner at Wolfgang Puck, but to be honest with you guys, a lot of the great talk and a lot of podcast-worthy stuff happens off camera.
Some of the greatest podcasts I've ever had were not recorded.
Yeah. I'm gonna start wearing a laugh. Just kidding. But yeah, seriously. I mean, keep your good friends close.
It'd be dope if we could have a podcast like Wolfgang Puck's like cut restaurant and be like, yeah, we're just gonna set up cameras here.
Just
we get big enough, they might as well. I mean, they might very well allow us to.
We'd appreciate it.
Well, at that point, we'd probably
We'd
have
appreciate it if Wolfgang Puck also was there.
Hey, we'd have boom guys at that point. They'd be just booming the mic like right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I got mad at Jason yesterday. Like, I was like, Jason, like, how many times at the pie gown table?
Dude, I had it was like 3 of a kind. Like,
I was like,
dude,
okay.
or
Yeah.
Three pairs.
3 pairs, bro.
Yeah.
3 pairs is a strong pie gown.
I think it was like 3 kings, right?
Dude,
No,
something
you
good.
had a pair of 3s, pair of 6s, and a pair of queens. But you separated your queens.
I put one high and one
You
low.
put your queen as a
Yeah.
high card
Hey,
on the low,
I got
and
this
you
time.
put a 2 pair on the bottom with the queen as your 5th card. It's like, wait.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And then, like, I got mad at you because I was like, Jason, how many people told you, like, ask the dealer for help, right? So they can check that you're playing your cards right, right? Like, the people sitting right next to you told you, like, 3 times. Then I told you twice, and you still made
And
the
then
mistake.
the dealer told me the 3rd time asking.
And then the dealer had to pull a favor with the pit boss, saying that, hey, can you let this go so he can win his hand.
Hey, they were nice
Right?
with the first time.
Dude.
But
I think Jason had a lot of beginner's luck.
Yeah.
He rode
Nice.
that beginner's luck wave. He actually came out on top.
But the lesson is, don't try to do it yourself, especially like if you're new to the game, right?
Yeah.
Ask for help.
guys, that's that pride. The pride will kick in sometime. But yeah, definitely ask for help. For sure. Lesson learned. I had fun, you
That
guys.
was a fun game.
I had fun, man.
I really enjoy that game. Like, I would, if I were here in Vegas, if we were here in Vegas another day, I'd spend way more time at that table.
Yeah.
Like,
I just hope I
way
wouldn't go
more
down.
time.
Well, we can. Our reservation ends tomorrow. We gotta head back.
I got
prepare for
things
Christmas.
to do. Yeah, and,
Yeah.
Christmas is approaching, and we just want to spend time with our families.
Yeah.
Top of other things.
Yeah. Be sure to do that as well if you still have family, those near and dear to you close. Like,
Yeah.
be sure to
Yeah, that's what we-
hang out with them.
We
And,
touched on that yesterday.
yeah, that was another little point. Keep them close. Keep the good ones close. That's my closing
Keep your good
sentiment.
humans real close.
And dogs.
And dogs.
I miss Scout and our unofficial. No, he's official. Our official mascot is
Scout.
Scout.
Yeah, none, me and Keith don't have pets.
Yeah.
So really, Scout's the only pet.
Kudos to pet owners, dude.
Yeah.
Taking care of a pet is like taking care of another life.
Yeah.
Requires, taking care of their health.
Yeah.
Requires
Feeding
playing
them,
with them, feeding
playing
them.
with them, making sure they get the right
dude.
exercise, cleaning up after them. It's a challenge.
Like a human.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Getting a new puppy is a challenge too, It's just, like, man, it's a challenge, that's for sure. It's not easy. But yeah. Anyway, anything you guys want to say before we end?
Just a big thanks.
Do this again.
Yeah. See you guys next time.
Can't wait to get back to work. We'll be working to have an experience like this till the next time. I'm actually planning on going to Abu Dhabi to watch a UFC fight there, so that's probably going to be my next experience. If you guys want to come, meet me in Abu Dhabi.
Cool, man.
When's the next fight?
In Abu Dhabi? I don't know. Probably in the summertime.
Nice.
But I know that there's one in January. Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. but I won't be able to go to that one. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it.
Summer over there, that's gonna be toasty.
Summer in the desert.
That's good.
It's like a very deserty part of the world.
Yeah,
that's
Abu
gonna
Dhabi. But I think it's cold during nighttime because it's really cold in the desert.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But I hear it's hot as balls during the daytime. Yeah.
Never been there, but I'd like to go.
Yeah.
UAE, is that where it is? Close to there?
I
Or is
guess
it
so.
Abu Dhabi the country?
I don't know. I have to
I don't
look
know
at the
anything about
geography.
Oh yeah, my geography is.
Yeah.
But-
Anyway, that's it. So we hope to see you guys at our next show, Indescendants. Follow us on Instagram or YouTube. Stay tuned for the burrito.
Yep.
You know, that's all coming. Hopefully, when we look at this podcast a year from now, it'll be like, I wonder where we are now.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
My parting words is live a good life, don't be angry. Start 2022 with a new leaf.
Live a good life. Don't be angry.
Yeah.
Keep your good ones close. Take care of them and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And,
All right. Bye, everybody.
Hey guys, Jason here from Indescendants. Thanks for watching our videos. And for more videos, hit the subscribe button below.